Hey hairdressers, I'm Cyd
And I'm David Belcher, and we are Destroy the Hairdresser. At Destroy the Hairdresser, we are head over heels for Aura salonware. Why? Because Aura is the only salonware that flawlessly supports every one of the Destroy the Hairdresser game-changing methods. From station sharing and cashless payments to offering true scheduling freedom and more, Aura's got it all. Wrapped in a beautiful, easy-to-use package, it's perfect for everyone, whether you're an independent stylist or managing multiple salon locations. Plus, Aura's robust features help streamline your operations and boost your bottom line. Ready to elevate your salon? Visit aurasalonwear.com/DTH for exclusive discounts and start your journey today. Give your clients great hair with fewer products and make more money with less inventory. Introducing Hair Story, a mindful and innovative brand. Hair Story's game-changing product, New Wash, cleans and conditions without harsh foams or detergents, restoring your scalp's natural balance. Made with gentle, biodegradable ingredients and recyclable packaging, it's good for your hair and the planet. With Hair Story Pro, earn a 25% commission on client purchases either in person or online. Plus, enjoy free education, wholesale pricing, and special client discounts. Try New Wash for free and get pro access today at hairstory.com/DTH. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Destroy the Hairdresser, the podcast. My name is David. I'm actually here without my trusty sidekick, Cyd and I'm going to be interviewing one of our current students. But before I bring on our student, I want to remind you, you can text, you can call, you can leave a voicemail for Hairdresser Hotline. We keep getting text messages and voicemails of your experiences at work, your great questions, and we want to continue to answer those on our podcast. So the number for Hairdresser Hotline is 201-564-5007. It's private, it's anonymous, no one's going to respond to you. We're just going to take your questions, take your stories, and share them anonymously on the podcast when we can. But today, we're going to skip Hairdresser Hotline announcements and go right into an interview with one of our current students, Cassie Belcher. Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I am so good. How are you?
I am doing great. If you aren't watching our podcast, you don't get to see the beautiful power jacket that Cassie is wearing, but it is pink. Is it velvet?
It costs $25, so no.
Is it crushed velvet?
Can you hear that?
The texture of it sounds and looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Tell me more about why'd you join this crazy group of hairdressers trying to change the world?
I'm a crazy hairdresser trying to change the world too.
Excellent.
I listened to the podcast for, I feel like almost since the beginning, since the Bleached days.
Oh my gosh, for those of you that don't know, Bleached, if you go all the way to the beginning of our podcast, our episodes were called Bleached. Cyd and I have talked many times of should we delete those, but really I don't think so. They really showcase the growth of not only me and Cyd, but of the company. So the fact that you trusted us when we were those two youngsters makes me kind of laugh. But what made you jump in?
I always truly believed in the methods that you all were sharing with the world. And I was in a very happy place. So I didn't really feel like I needed much change. I worked for a wonderful salon owner in a commission salon in California legally, because we can do that here.
You can. Everyone thinks you can't.
I know, it's wild. I'm proof in a lot of the ways that it can be done.
Amazing.
I adored him. I had to pick up and completely change my life 18 months into my hairdressing career. My husband's company merged with Google and we had no choice. There was no remote work then. So 18 months after graduating beauty school, I moved to California and had to start over. I didn't know what to do. So I taught beauty school for a while and I made a friend who worked for my former salon owner and I just adored him. He was French and kind of a hard exterior, but not interior. And I enjoyed working for a European person. They're very no nonsense. I was with him for 7 years. I taught all of his apprentices. I loved that. And pandemic hit. We didn't know what to do. We made it through. We were so excited. And about a year after, I'm not in his mind, so I can't speak to it, but he decided he didn't want to be a business owner anymore. And he shocked us. We had to respect him finally making a decision for himself because he always put us first.
Right.
He sold to a larger salon, not 2 blocks away from, I'm so sorry, Mike. Can you hear my dog?
Nope. Okay. But if we could, we'd enjoy it.
Yeah. We moved into a larger salon space. We were an 11-chair salon. We moved into a 32-chair salon with a complete other salon team.
Wow.
And
so you went from one family of hairdressers to two.
A Brady Bunch.
a Brady Bunch situation. Wow.
And that team was also very well established. Some of them had worked together for 30 years.
Oh my God.
We had such a range of ages in this large salon, like hairdressers who were still 70 and active and really enjoying their work. And
70 years old?
70 years old.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
They still really liked it and they still felt engaged.
Yeah, of course.
Which was cool. And then we had our new graduate apprentices. So it really we had Gen Z to like early stage boomer.
Wow.
All in there together. And I really enjoyed my coworkers. The space was overwhelming. It was very large. I'd never worked in a salon that big. And the dynamics in a salon that big are tough.
Absolutely.
So I went home after like day 2 or 3 of moving in together. May or may not get emotional about this.
It's okay.
I cried myself to sleep.
Yeah.
I got on the DTH salon locator and saw that there were no Destroy the Hairdresser salons in San Francisco. Because it's like, if I'm making a change, if I'm leaving these people I've worked with the whole time I've lived in California, this is the only transition I want to make.
Wow.
Absolutely no San Francisco DTH salons active at the moment that were on the locator. I was like,
and when was this?
2022.
Okay.
21, 22. So I had to start creating an exit plan. I didn't want my clients to feel upended. So at work, everything was fine. I was moving through it. I had started teaching again. I kind of pulled back from that. I took everything that kind of was extra and just focused on my clientele until I could figure out the next move. And that was a September. So that following June, I'd finally just hit it and I called for a discovery call.
Wow. So just to kind of wrap this all up in a big bow, you worked for someone that you really loved working for. You were a commission stylist in California. That salon owner, something happened. He wanted to sell the business. You merged with another salon. Now went from 11 to 32. Was that right?
So in total, like there are 32 chairs in that salon. There were 7 of us. We had 11 chairs, but we double booked with apprentices very seamlessly.
Okay.
So we brought our apprentices and us, and then they had probably 25 to 30, depending on when people were in and out. So we went to a team of 40 or so, I think, in the beginning.
And that was a lot you were like, this isn't for me.
It was very overstimulating. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then September comes, you're like, I got to move on. You looked for a salon through the DTH locator, which anyone who's looking, you can go to our website and look at our salon directory. Cassie's on it if you're in the San Francisco or the Bay Area. However, you booked a discovery call, and what was that experience like?
Super fun. I feel like they got a shorter story of what I just told you, and I was like, I feel like I worship at the altar of DTH, and I only want to move forward if I can be with a salon owner, employs these methods, but all of them were in the East Bay. So it was a pretty major commute.
Right.
Or fuck it. I'm going to do it myself. I had no idea where to start. I broached this conversation with my husband several times, and he was like, starting a business in San Francisco is nuts. And then the conversation happened again. But if I buy his business, okay, that makes sense. It's 20 years established. It would make sense. So His brain cracked open to be open then.
Right.
And then everything happened. And I sat him down and I was like, I really want to do this. And he said, okay, you have to do all the hard stuff first. Don't do any of the branding. Don't do any of the pretty things. Don't think about the bubbles and sunshine and rainbows of your dream. You have to do the hard stuff first. And the first hard thing is getting a coach.
Wow. Your husband recommended it?
What's that? No, he knew I listened to the podcast and I was like, listen, I'm going to do this discovery call. If I feel like this is going to work, then I'm moving forward. And if nothing else, I'm going to learn a lot.
Yeah.
And he said, great. We'll go until the world tells us it's not possible.
Oh my God, I love that. Your husband sounds amazing.
He's cool.
So you had your discovery call. And was it the discovery call that you said, I need to do this myself?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was scary. I'd written it in my journal like, I think I want to do this. I talked to my therapist about it. She thought it was a really good idea. And what was funny is I only had like a month of overlap with my coach, Kate, and my therapist. And my therapist was like, I think Kate can take you from here.
Really?
Yeah. She broke up with me. I want
to do a disclaimer. We are not therapists.
You're not therapy.
We're not replacing therapists. But the fact that your therapist could see that a coach was going to push you forward, because sometimes therapy doesn't push you forward. It takes you back a lot. But
we'd worked through the hard stuff.
You'd already worked through a lot of that hard stuff.
Yeah.
And then
I had started seeing her through the grief of losing a future I thought I had.
Right. And then a coach came in and hopefully kicked your ass in a good way. What was it like working with Kate Kent?
Kate is a phenomenon. Like, she is like, I remember our first call and she said, I want to be able to pull up a lawn chair inside of your mind. I want to know you that well. And I said, that might drive you to drinking. And then in true Kate fashion, she said, I promise you it won't.
That's amazing. How did that feel, knowing that somebody wanted to be in your mind and see what you had to offer for real?
It was cool that someone, without really knowing me, just automatically believed in me that much. And I didn't choose Kate. I was matched with Kate.
Wow.
Because she's very good at pushing new salons out into the world.
She is very good at that.
And it was 6 months.
So you had a discovery call and then within 6 months opened a salon in San Francisco.
June 2023 to January 2024.
Did you expect it to go that fast?
No. Here in California, we're close to wine country in San Francisco. We have something called the Napa Wine Train. So you can ride this old train. It's really cute. And you can go to a couple wineries. And it's like a sightseeing train, right? One of my challenges from Kate was a very, very scary thing. And she was like, go look at 10 salon spaces. And I was like, I don't have a bank account. She goes, you don't have to do anything about it. Just go. Wow. I found my space in that. And I had an existential crisis on the sidewalk. And my real estate agent was looking at me like, it's fine. Like, all you have to do is ask for the lease to start later. I didn't know. I knew nothing about this. And it went from Napa Wine Train to like Japanese bullet train so fast. But one thing Kate has always said is like, if you're asking the universe for something, when you're ready, it's going to slam it to you, right?
Right.
When you're ready to hold it, when you have the capacity to hold it, you're going to get it. And it just came barreling at me.
You had no choice.
I had no choice.
You had already made your choice a long time ago, and I think it just caught up. That's, I see this with a lot of students. We get a lot of discovery calls of people that don't really fully realize they're going to open a salon. And they also, everyone has kind of the same worries. I don't know a lot about business. I don't know a lot about a lease. I don't know how to find a space. I don't know, it's a lot of I don't know what I'm doing. And a coach isn't actually, it's funny, we don't teach you how to do a lease. We don't teach you how to, find a contractor. We're there with you when you're doing it. We're holding your hand while you're finding these things, but you're doing all of that work. And I think that's what makes this process so powerful, that you still get to walk away and say, I did that.
I did it all.
I didn't just call and have someone do it for me. I did it all, but I had someone on my team. I had someone on my side. And I think that's such a rare thing in our industry. Once you leave the technical of our industry and you're trying to do the business stuff. After 6 months and going from looking to then having a salon, how was running a DTH salon different than what you had experienced before? Because I know that you listened to the podcast and you knew the methods and you knew the ideas and the tools, but how was it different when you started doing it in real life?
No one's going to believe it when I say it.
They never do.
Easy. I had a client and her mother in not 2 weeks ago. I've only done her hair. One of my former apprentices, who's now a stylist, always did her mother's hair. So they would come in at the same time. And I'd gotten to know this client's mom as well. And as she was waiting in my little library area of my salon, she goes, I bet it's been so stressful. And I stopped for a moment and I said, no, it really hasn't.
And what was her response?
She was floored. She was like, wow, really? And I was like, yeah, I control what I can control. I know that I can't stress out about the things that are outside of my control. And I have all of these things set up to help me along the way. Like, I have a personal phone and a business phone. and everything is very separate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very good at taking 2 days off already. I'm only behind the chair 4 days a week. I have all of these things set up that I'm not going to burn out. I knew I could afford my space with my services alone. And I can afford all of the expenses of my business working 7 fully booked days a month.
Well, I want to talk about that. 7 fully booked days a month. Hourly pricing is one of our big methods. What was your paycheck like before DTH, and what was it like after, and what were the differences?
I love that you assume that I have a paycheck right now. I don't.
That's okay.
Okay. So my paycheck is very different, but it means something different.
Exactly.
I made the most money I've ever made in my career in the 15 months I was at that big salon. I had never cracked 6 figures as a stylist, and I was so close.
Wow. And that was with double booking and all those.
I was double booking, utilizing apprentices, and I had a good balance there. Certain parts of the year I would work 3 days a week. Certain parts of the year I would work 4 days a week based on kind of the natural ebb and flow of San Francisco. We empty in the summer because it's cold as shit here in the summer.
It's cold? Well, I got to go to San Francisco in the summer then because it's 96 degrees here in New York City.
It's 65 degrees right now.
Oh my gosh. That's a whole other podcast.
Oh my gosh. The sunshine. Don't let the sunshine fool you. It's 65 degrees outside with a breeze.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
And I have a lot of European clients because I worked in a French salon. They all go back to Europe in the summer to experience summer. Yep. So I had 3 days a week, 4 days a week that I worked. Yes, I had several apprentices that were helping me, and I could not have done my job without them. I loved working with every one of them. They are all going to be incredibly successful stylists one day. And I'd very much love it if they'd come to work for me one day, but that's their decision to make. So yeah, I made the most money I'd ever made, and I was the most unhappy I'd ever been. I love being a hairdresser.
Why were you unhappy?
The salon that we went to is not hairdresser owned. I found it really difficult. As nice of a person as that salon owner is and continues to be, as kind as he was to us when we first came there, because we were all feeling like fish out of water. If you don't speak the language of the people that you're set up to lead, I find it really, really difficult. He lived in 2 different places. He, in my opinion, and this is the way he runs his business, it works for him. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I didn't find him present enough for my personal liking.
Got it.
But I had also worked for someone who was always in the salon, worked 6 days a week, and evidently burnt himself out.
Exactly. Yeah, you saw both sides. I
saw both sides. And I know they both in their own mind definitely support me in my journey and all that. I had to go do it my way. And hourly pricing really helped that. The first method I actually started with was gratuity-free.
Interesting choice.
I didn't have control over my own prices in that large salon, and I didn't have control over the way my service menu language was.
Okay.
So still gendered haircuts and a la carte pricing on color services. And I'm a generalist, so I do everything. So the one thing I had control over with my client base that I'd had for 7 years was saying, I don't want your tips anymore.
How did that feel?
They were shocked. Everyone was shocked. And the front desk staff was trained well enough to not accept it. They knew.
For you.
Yeah, they knew.
Did it disrupt the salon?
What's that?
Did it disrupt the salon in any way where other people felt? Because I've known other people that have done, the gratuity-free in their current situation. And, it kind of causes a little bit of issue because other stylists are like, but I still want gratuity. I don't want my clients to hear that you're not doing gratuity. Did it have any effect on anything?
I see what you're saying there. I don't know. A lot of people knew I was doing it.
Okay.
I mean, this was a 9,000 square foot salon.
Right. No one knew what everyone else was doing.
My choices were my choices. Those that I had worked with, that I was close with, a lot of them listened to the podcast as well. So I would, of course, talk to them about my choices of going gratuity free. Kate was like, you better raise your prices if you're going gratuity free. And I was like, I don't have control over that, but I'll ask. Right. And in that moment, I was so close to being done.
Yeah.
That
you didn't have a lot to lose.
The meeting for the ask never lined up. It was like, hey, I'd like to talk to you about something. Okay, I'm in the salon. Like, we just kept missing each other.
Yeah.
It was really hard. But it was something I had control over as I was working through the really hard stuff at the beginning when you start coaching with DTH, which is understanding where you're naturally reactive and triggered on things, understanding how you can take those feelings and make choices with them, and then just growing your capacity to hold more things. So I look like an angel right now.
You
I look
are.
like
You're
an angel.
glowing. You are an angel, Cassie.
Anyway, so like that shit's hard. Having to
Right.
text your coach every time you feel a reaction. I started to feel kind of like a shitty human because all of my reactions were very frustration based.
Right.
And they were mostly inside the salon and mostly, unfortunately, towards my salon owner. Because I was already starting to see a different path, and my path and his path weren't the same. And I was getting very frustrated.
Well, what was it like to finally make the choice to open your own space? Was it proactive?
Cool.
Was it proactive?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I opened Sanctuary reactively at all. I knew there were certain tenets of this business that would never fill me up or help my clients feel safe. A lot of my clients are in the queer community.
Mm-hmm.
Some are on the spectrum. And I have a lot of young professionals who haven't really found their footing yet that are in San Francisco kind of like finding it for the first time. Like San Francisco is a beacon to everyone who doesn't fit anywhere else, right?
Yep.
So hearing comments like, I feel like I have to change my clothes to come here. Or I found a way to kind of safely tuck myself around in a corner so people didn't feel watched all the time. Like it was a very kind of exposing thing when you were out on the main salon floor. My clients were incredibly uncomfortable, but they still valued me enough to see me there and not leave me, which I'm infinitely thankful for. One looked at me one day and he was like, when are we getting the fuck out of here? And I was like, I can't confirm or deny.
So to fast forward, you have your own space now, Sanctuary Salon. What's the website so people can find you, and what's your Instagram so people can follow you?
This Instagram and the website are the same, sanctuarysalonsf.com and at Sanctuary Salon SF on Instagram.
I want to go back to something you said earlier, which was you said it. I think it's so nice that you assume I'm getting a paycheck, but you said it's a much different thing. Can you explain a little bit more about that? Now you have your own space. What's it like? What's the cash flow like in that situation compared to where you were before, and why is it different?
Well, there's money in the bank at the end of every month after I pay my bills, so I'm excited.
Amazing. I'm
able to pay all my bills on time. I'm able to fully pay my people and provide them a safe place to truly be 100% themselves. No masking. Be yourself. Mm-hmm. We want that for our clients, and I want that for my staff as well. That's why Sanctuary made the most sense as a name. It's just a safe place, a safer place, an inclusive place, a protected place. I can be a bit of a justice warrior. Like if I sniff bullying, I'm a very fight reactive person. I don't need much prompting to ball my fists. And I'm not a very large person, but that doesn't matter. Like, you will catch these hands. And it's kind of always been that way. If I see someone being treated unfairly, I'm in the room with the people in power before they are. And I realize that's kind of not the way to do it, but that's how I used to be.
Yeah.
So me being able to take my services, put them into a place that means that much, and have these stylists that believe in me and also want to do something different with me, like that's cool. So yeah, I plan to pay myself by the end of the year. That is a goal. My accountant and I are working on it. And I'm also working on raising my prices. Only brought my color prices up to the hourly. My haircut price I thought was good for my market. So I kept it, and my haircut price is now my hourly rate.
What's your hourly rate?
Right now, $125, and I'm going to raise it to $150.
What was it like being able to do all the methods that you wanted to do in your salon, like hourly, going gratuity? What was it like, besides working at a space where you had to kind of finagle your way into doing some of the methods? What was it like just being able to do them, and how is the team responding? How are the clients responding to some of the DTH ways of business?
It's all so transparent. It's all so easy to understand. I have a lot of Gen Z hairdressers. I am so unhealthily obsessed with this generation of hairdressers. They just get it.
Yep.
They know their apprenticeships don't have to be as long as everyone is saying. They know that if they're good at doing something, they should be allowed to do it then.
Right.
They know they need to work hard, and they know they have things to learn, and they're willing to do it. So do not tell me this generation is lazy and doesn't want to work, because I have evidence to the contrary. They just get it immediately. The clients are like, oh, that makes so much sense. Why didn't you always do it this way?
Right.
The gratuity-free thing comes with one question. Are you sure? And when we say, yes, our hourly price covers everything, we don't need that. But if you want to help or say thank you, please leave us a review. That's really great. And we haven't had a single person get upset or angry or mad about any of it. I just had a stylist raise her prices. Great. I feel like she's getting more clients at a higher price point than she was at her starting price point.
I have a theory. I always say you can build your business at $50 an hour, or you can build your business at $100 an hour. It does. No matter where you start, you have to put in that type of work.
Yeah.
And I think we're all afraid to raise our prices because we start so low.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of the way we did things. What would you tell someone who listens to the podcast? They're not sure if they want to work with DTH. They're not sure if they can do it. They have some doubts. What would you tell them now that you've been in the program for a while and you've had success with it?
Well, I'm very practiced at this because I do it a lot. I feel like background, I grew up in an evangelical Christian church.
Me too, girl.
So we have a lot of trauma there, but we also have a lot of skills. And one of
we
them
know how
is
to spread the gospel.
Exactly. So if I ever meet a fellow salon owner or someone who's thinking about owning a salon, the first thing I ask is, do you have a coach? I don't care what program, but do you have a coach? You are going to need someone to help you navigate a lot of big feelings. A lot of big feelings. And while, yes, if you have a good therapist, that's great, but you need someone that is industry specific, that can help you navigate these really big feelings that are going to come along with not only just going on your own and being responsible for everything. There's a click that will happen in your brain that takes you from being a hairdresser to being a salon owner. And I say this behind the chair with my clients all the time. I'm not a hairdresser anymore. And they're jarred a little bit. And then they're like, okay, I said, I'm a salon owner that just still happens to be behind the chair. And I warn them. But as I hire, my business comes first, my staff comes second, and you come third. And they're like, I get it. Cool. When are you raising your prices? I want to be prepared for that. Right? I said, as I hire more staff, my time with you doesn't grow my business as much as my time with my team. I need time to sit down with them, give them my attention, mentor them, coach them, teach them, because I do have a lot of younger hairdressers, younger in the industry, not necessarily age, and I have to focus there. So my days will lessen. I want to take at least one day away by January. And I'll raise my prices before the holidays because it's a great time to do it. And they know this is happening. They also know one of my employees is my last apprentice from the other salon. She just got it and was ready to make a change as well. And she was ready to be taken seriously as a hairdresser. She'd graduated during the pandemic. So she was already 4 years licensed before she ever became a stylist with me.
Oh, wow.
They had a hard road and we're navigating through that. And some of them are so comfortable with her because she would do my toners, do my shampoos, sometimes take on my color clients if they weren't getting a haircut through the rest of their service. So they're just incredibly comfortable with her. And I'm like, if things ever get tight, don't get quiet. Talk to me. You already know we can pop you down. You can grow with her. I work right alongside her. We can still see each other. And every now and then, if you want to splurge, I'll do your highlight.
I love that.
I'll do your haircut. But she also has my brain in her brain. But you get the added advantage of having her brain too.
Exactly. You have
and
two
she's
brains.
Wildly creative.
What would I don't want to wrap this podcast up because I have so many things. Maybe we'll have you on again because there's so much more to talk about. However, my last question to you would be, what was the most life-changing, career-changing piece of information or moment you had in coaching so far?
Any DTH student is going to laugh, and you probably will too. anyone who has ever coached with Kate, who's ever been in a class with Kate, or formerly Rachel. We all have merch that says one thing on it.
I know exactly what this is.
Pause for drama. You just fucking do it. Like, that's it. The only way is through, right? Like, don't sit and think and wonder if you in any way, shape, or form think that you could be a salon owner that can help us change this industry for the better. Just fucking do it.
Oh, I love that you said that.
If you're curious about starting discovery call, just fucking do it, right?
Yep.
Nothing is permanent. I went into owning this salon, and one of my hairdressers, when I hired her, I was like, if it doesn't work out, no big deal. We'll all go back to working in salons, whatever. Right? This lease is 5 years. I'll be so excited. It's not. My lease is 5 years, and if we're still good, I'll renew. If it's not, I will not hold on until I am broken and empty.
You have really, you've shared so many great things, but really your mindset around business, and I'm sure you had a lot of this mindset coming in. I'm sure that Kate sharpened it even more, but your perspective on the industry is what will give you longevity. And it's very impressive to see.
I love business. I've always loved being a hairdresser, and I didn't know that I would be so excited to talk to my accountant. I didn't know that I would be so excited to sit in like these one-on-one, very intimate conversations with my hairdressers and be like, what do you want? Let's make it happen.
How long
the only
have you
way
been
out
open?
Is 6 months, 6.5 months.
Only 6 months, and you can pay your rent, you can pay your employees, you can pay your bills, and you're about to take your own paycheck.
And I still have money in the bank.
And you still,
and I'm not in debt.
Okay, and you're not in debt, which is huge. I have one more question. I know our producer in the back is telling me to wrap this up. My last question, and I have to ask, what about people that assume you can't make money the DTH way?
I would love to show you all of my hairdressers' pay stubs that say the exact fucking opposite thing. And none of them are at the hourly rate except one.
Mm-hmm.
Because she used to be a DTH student, and now she splits between 2 DTH salons.
Easy.
She's rad. Her hourly rate is higher than mine, and I don't lose sleep over it a day. There's no ego there.
There doesn't
None
need to
of my hairdressers are at the hourly rate I think they could truly be at. We're there just to be a little bit uncomfortable, and we grow when they're ready. One is so close, like she's going to have to raise her prices because she's a TikTok queen. And every time she has a new client in her chair, she's new to San Francisco. She's been in San Francisco 2.5 months.
And she's already killing it.
She has new clients, and I'm like, where'd that one come from? Where'd that one come from? She's like, TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. And I'm like, girl, we're going to have to raise your prices.
Oh my gosh. Cassie, if I ever shut down Destroy the Hairdresser, God forbid, I'm coming to work at your salon.
I want that for sure. I will let you know. I hosted an industry night, and the founders of InnerSense came. 9 people. It wasn't a great turnout. The weather was bad. Kids were sick, but they came, and I was just expecting a rep.
And 9 people.
9 people came. 2 of them were Joanna and Greg, and they walked around the salon. It didn't even look like it does now. It's so pretty now. It was very minimally dressed because that wasn't my priority.
Right.
Greg said, man, this salon is so nice. It makes me want to get behind the chair again. And I was like, do you want a job?
What is, being a DTH, being a DTH student really embraces boldness, and you are living that. And again, I'm sure you were always like this, but I just see you channeling it in such a powerful, influential way. And I know Kate had help in helping you channel that. And your story is incredible. You've only been open for 6 months. I can't wait to interview you, when you've been open for a year, more successes to come. And obviously in our virtual campus, keep us updated on everything. And if you want to reach out to Cassie, learn more about Sanctuary, you can go to Instagram at Sanctuary Salon SF. You can go to sanctuarysalonsf.com. But Cassie, I can't wait to interview you again. This is amazing.
Well, how about you just come to the 1-year anniversary party? It'll be kind of a New Year's situation.
Great.
And I didn't have a grand opening. I didn't want to waste the money on it. I didn't ever want to make it about me, which I should a little, I know, but I didn't. And it's like, I would rather celebrate being 1 year open than saying, this might work, right?
I have no doubt that you'll be open for many years past 5.
I hope so.
For
I
sure.
really hope so.
Very proud of you. You don't need me to be proud of you, but I am proud of you.
Thank you. I'm really proud of myself.
Exactly. And I'm impressed. I'm so impressed. Thank you so much for being on here with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, a word from our sponsors.
Let's face it, selling the same retail that every other salon is selling is not working anymore. It's time to take control of your retail sales and profits with Genesis Private Label. Genesis offers premium plant-powered formulations that are cruelty-free and clinically tested. Start your own line for just $1,000 and take your salon's brand and profits to the next level. As a DTH podcast listener, you get an exclusive deal on your sample kit. Usually $149, now just $34.97. Visit genesisprivatelabel.com/DTH and order your sample kit today. Hey hairdressers, are you looking for health insurance? It's time to get healthy with Hairdresser Healthcare, the only coverage designed specifically for the beauty industry. Whether you're an independent stylist, a salon owner with a team, a makeup artist, or a massage therapist, we've got you covered with comprehensive and affordable benefits. With options for self-enrollment and year-round open enrollment, taking control of your health has never been easier. And the best part is, it's available in every state. Visit hairdresserhealthcare.com and take control of your health today because you, your team, and your family deserve it.